Hey, future CPAs, let's talk about something that could be costing your future clients a ton of money. And the scary part is, they might not even realize it. It all comes down to how you figure out the true cost of your products.
And no, seriously, this isn't just some textbook question. This is a real-world nightmare. Companies can legitimately go under because they have no idea what their stuff actually costs to make. This is where getting overhead allocation right is absolutely critical.
All right, let's kick things off with the OG method, the one most companies used for decades, traditional or conventional costing. It's simple, for sure, but as we're about to see, that simplicity is also its biggest weakness.
The whole idea here is basically, let's just make it easy. You take all your factory overhead costs, rent, electricity, the whole shebang, lump them into one giant cost pool, and then just spread that cost across all your products using one single rate. They literally call it peanut butter costing, because you're just spreading it evenly everywhere.
In this example, just hits the nail on the head. Imagine going out for dinner. You get a side salad, and your friend gets the lobster and the most expensive steak on the menu. Then the bill comes, and you split it 50-50? No way, right? You'd feel totally ripped off. Well, that's exactly what's happening to your products under this system.
And look, the process itself, it's ridiculously easy. And that's why people loved it. You calculate one rate for the entire factory, apply it across the board, and you're done. But that simplicity is a trap. It can hide some massive inaccuracies that lead managers to make some really, really bad calls.
Okay, so if the old way is kind of broken, what's the upgrade? Let's get into the smarter approach, activity-based costing, or as you'll always see it, ABC.
ABC works on this really powerful yet simple idea. Products don't just magically use up money. Nope, it's the activities that cost money, and your products use up those activities. It's all about tracing the real cause of your costs instead of just smearing them everywhere.
So, you gotta ask yourself, what's really driving our overhead costs? Is it the time we spend setting up machines for a production run? Is it the effort of moving heavy materials around the factory? Quality checks? Each one of those is an activity, and each one has its own price tag that needs to be traced.
This slide is the perfect visual for the difference. Think of it like this. Traditional costing is like using one giant paint roller and just slapping the same color of cost onto everything. But ABC, that's like having a whole set of fine point pens where you can carefully and precisely trace every single cost to the exact product that caused it. It's just way more accurate.
All right, enough theory. Let's see this stuff in action. We're gonna throw these two methods in the ring and let them battle it out with the Belton furniture case. And heads up, this is a classic scenario you will definitely see in your review materials for the LCPA, so pay attention.
Okay, so here's our data. At a quick glance, the direct costs look kind of similar, right? But wait, zoom in on the number of setups. Whoa, look at product B. It needs a massive 380 setups for just 20,000 units. That should be setting off alarm bells in your head. Tuck that thought away, it's going to be really important in a minute. And here it is, the big prize we're all fighting for. Over 1.2 million pesos in total factory overhead. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to figure out how to assign this cost fairly to products A, B, and C. Let's start with the old school way first. So, using the traditional method, Belton just says, let's base everything on direct labor hours. They take that huge overhead number, divided by the total direct labor hours for all products, and bam, they get a single plant-wide rate of 12 pesos and 13 centavos for every single hour of labor.
So once they apply that one rate fits all, this is what they get. Product B comes out to a total unit cost of $14.92. Looks pretty reasonable, right? Okay, lock that number in your brain. Now let's see what happens when we switch to ABC.
And this, my friends, is where the plot thickens. Instead of one giant messy pool of costs, ABC says, hold up, let's break this down. We're going to find the three main activities driving that 1.2 million peso cost. And for each activity, we're going to calculate a unique rate based on its specific cost driver. This is the real deal.
First up, utilities. What drives your electric bill? It's not how many people are working, it's how many machines are running, right? The more you run them, the more juice you use. Makes perfect sense. So that gives us a rate of 5 pesos per machine hour.
Next, scheduling and those setups we were talking about. This cost is driven by the number of times you have to stop and reconfigure a production line. And check out that rate, a whopping 350 pesos every single time they do a setup.
And finally, materials handling. This one's all about how heavy the stuff is that you're moving around. It works out to 40 centavos for every pound moved. See how much more logical and intuitive this is? Each cost is tied directly to what's actually causing it.
Okay, drumroll please. And here it is, the big reveal. Just look at product B. Focus on that overhead line. It explodes from about P11 to almost P24. It more than doubled. And at the same time, look at product C. Its overhead cost got chopped almost in half. This isn't just a small adjustment, it is a completely different financial story.
So, let's put these results side by side. This is that aha moment, where we finally see the truth that was hiding inside the numbers all along.
This chart right here, this is the money shot. Under the old, traditional system, product B looked like a pretty decent, reasonably priced product. But ABC pulls back the curtain and shows it's a total resource monster, costing almost double what they thought. And why? Remember all those machine setups we flagged earlier? That's why. ABC correctly dumped all that high setup cost right onto product B, where it belongs.
And this is why all of this matters for your future careers. If you use the wrong costing system, you're basically flying blind. You could be throwing all your marketing money at a product like B, thinking it's your star player when it's secretly bleeding you dry. At the same time, you might be thinking of killing a super profitable product like C just because you thought it was too expensive. It's a total disaster waiting to happen. Okay, so how do you make this knowledge stick? Not just for your next quiz, but for the big one, the board exam, years from now. Here is your game plan, your takedown guide for long-term retention. Seriously, pull out your phone and screenshot this slide. This is your ultimate cheat sheet. Traditional is simple, but it can totally mislead you. ABC is accurate, but it takes more work. It reveals those hidden factory costs. And the #1 exam trick is always, always, always match the right activity with its correct cost driver. That's where they'll try to trip you up.
All right, let's do one final rapid-fire review. Traditional costing paints with a broad brush and can mess up your numbers. ABC gives you a high-definition picture of your real costs. Knowing how to do the math for both and explaining the strategic difference is a high-value skill for the boards and for your career.
So now you have the real data. What's the first strategic move you would make as a manager? Would you jack up the price of product B, try to make its setup process cheaper, or maybe even just discontinue it? That's the power of management accounting. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about giving you the intel to make game-winning decisions. And that's a question you're now totally ready to answer. Good luck with your review.